machines are beginning to contribute more meaningfully to a range of knowledge intensive activities that were once considered exclusively human. There is little debate that artificial intelligence has demonstrated remarkable technological capabilities. The evidence speaks for itself, which raises a more fundamental question. Can extraordinary technological capability by itself create extraordinary healthcare? Or does healthcare still depend on something technology cannot replicate? Human wisdom. Let's take a look at some of the areas where AI is already transforming healthcare. Drug discovery is one of healthcare's most intricate journeys. Scientists first identify a biological target, then search, optimize, test, and validate potential molecules before a single medicine reaches a patient. Recent advances such as DeepMind's AlphaFold have demonstrated how artificial intelligence can dramatically accelerate scientific understanding by predicting protein structures that previously required years of investigation. Although protein structure prediction is only one part of drug discovery, it illustrates how AI is transforming the pace of biomedical research. This shift is fueled by vast biomedical data, making AI essential in navigating complexity. In practice, AI narrows the search, prioritizing candidates for further validation. The significance? AI can reduce wasted effort and accelerate promising leads. Of course, a model may suggest a target, rank a molecule, or predict toxicity. Yet, scientists, clinicians, and leaders must still ask, is the biology credible? Is the evidence strong enough? Is the risk acceptable? AI accelerates, but human wisdom ensures what is it that is worth bringing forward. Medical writing is a cornerstone of healthcare communication, from clinical study reports to regulatory submissions, traditionally labor intensive. AI is reshaping the process. By scanning vast data sets, AI aids in generating structured summaries, ensuring consistency and flagging compliance gaps. In fact, some AI tools already support medical writers by pre screening thousands of studies and drafting initial summaries, allowing writers to focus on interpretation and precision. The significance is clear: faster turnaround, reduced errors, and increased efficiency. So, while AI drafts, it is a discernment of medical experts that ensures scientific rigor and ethical clarity. Ultimately, AI enables speed, but human judgment ensures meaning. Leaders should treat AI as a partner, elevating quality while keeping domain expertise at the helm. MLR submissions. MLR submissions are crucial checkpoints for compliance. AI is now able to analyze claims against vast regulatory databases in real time, ensuring faster, more accurate reviews. A few AI systems even highlight real world evidence to support or challenge a claim during the MLR process. This means submissions are not just faster but smarter, reducing back and forth. And as always, while AI sharpens the process, human expertise ensures that each submission is both compliant and meaningful. With AI as an ally, the MLR journey becomes not only efficient but exceptionally robust. Next important area is that of clinical trial optimizations. Clinical trials, if you were to see clinical trials, they are also entering a new era of intelligent optimization. In one notable example, researchers supporting Janssen's phase 3 COVID 19 vaccine program developed a machine learning model called Delphi to predict emerging COVID 19 hotspots. Rather than relying primarily on historical site performance, the model identified locations where disease incidence was high, enabling investigators to recruit participants more efficiently. According to the published paper, this approach identified hotspots with more than 90% accuracy, shortened the overall trial timeline by approximately 6 to 8 weeks, which means around one third faster, and reduced the required participant enrollment by nearly 15,000 participants, which is approximately 25%. Another 2024 peer-reviewed study demonstrated that machine learning models can combine historical recruitment performance with real-world data to rank clinical trials more accurately than traditional methods, thereby improving site selection and patient recruitment planning. Recognizing this growing potential, the US Food and Drug Administration has also highlighted the role of AI in areas such as participant enrollment, site selection, and trial design, while emphasizing that transparency, scientific validation, appropriate governance, and regulatory oversight remain fundamental to responsible implementation. As AI becomes more deeply integrated into clinical development, competitive advantage will increasingly depend on combining data driven operational intelligence with rigorous clinical science, ethical oversight, and patient centered trial design. Better recruitment planning can reduce costly delays, improve resource utilization, and help promising therapies reach patients sooner. Now, let's take a look at how this is affecting commercial and promotional content. Now, scientific innovation creates value only when it is communicated accurately, compliantly, and meaningfully. That is precisely where AI is beginning to transform commercial content. Across the pharmaceutical industry, AI is increasingly supporting the development of promotional materials, email campaigns, modular content, omnichannel engagement, localization, and content repurposing. Rather than creating every asset from scratch, commercial teams are increasingly using AI to generate structured first drafts, adapt approved content across multiple channels, and accelerate content production while remaining within established brand and regulatory frameworks. Now, why is this transformation taking place? Today's healthcare professionals engage through multiple channels: emails, websites, webinars, remote detailing, social media, various medical portals. The demand for personalized, scientifically accurate, and compliant communication has grown significantly. making traditional content production difficult to scale. AI is helping organizations respond to this challenge. It can rapidly adapt approved content for different audience, suggest modular content combinations, assist with localization and translation, and support content teams in producing consistent communication more efficiently. The significance extends well beyond productivity. By reducing repetitive content creation, AI enables commercial and medical teams to devote more time to strategic planning, customer engagement, scientific storytelling, and value based communication. But perhaps the greatest opportunity lies elsewhere. AI may generate content quickly, but it cannot independently determine whether a message is scientifically balanced, ethically appropriate, or genuinely valuable to healthcare professionals and patients. The future of commercial excellence will not be measured by how much content organizations produce. It will be measured by how effectively they combine AI enabled efficiency with scientific credibility, regulatory compliance, and meaningful customer engagement. It is clear that AI is transforming multiple functions across the pharmaceutical value chain. Yet, an important observation begins to emerge. These transformations are occurring within individual functions: drug discovery, medical writing, clinical development, commercial operations, and medical affairs. Excuse me. Healthcare, however, is far more than the sum of these individual functions. Ultimately, patients do not experience healthcare as separate departments. They experience it as one integrated system. And that raises the next strategic question: how do we translate advances in individual functions into transformation across the entire healthcare ecosystem? So let's take a look at the next frontier of healthcare transformation. So each of these examples is telling an important story. If we were to step back and try and take a look at the bigger picture, an important observation begins to emerge. Across research, scientific communication, regulatory review, clinical development, commercial operations, medical affairs, artificial intelligence is reshaping the pharmaceutical value chain. Yet, the question that still remains: can excellence within individual functions by itself transform healthcare? Probably not. I reiterate, patients do not experience healthcare as isolated departments, they experience it as one connected journey. The next frontier of healthcare transformation, therefore, lies in integrating these advances into a healthcare ecosystem that is intelligent, resilient, equitable, and ultimately centered on better patient outcomes. Now, if you were to take a look at the manufacturing and the supply networks, we know that the journey from scientific discovery to patient benefit does not end in the laboratory. It depends on the ability to manufacture medicines consistently, distribute them reliably, and deliver them safely to patients around the world. One indication of this industry wide transformation comes from Novartis. In its publicly shared operations strategy, the company highlights AI use cases including predictive maintenance, manufacturing yield optimization, automated visual inspection, and end to end supply chain optimization. These examples illustrate how AI is increasingly being integrated into pharmaceutical manufacturing to improve operational efficiency, strengthen quality systems, and enhance manufacturing resilience. At the end of it all, this is not simply a manufacturing story, it is a patient access story. Every improvement in manufacturing reliability has the potential to reduce shortages, strengthen product quality, accelerate patient access, and reinforce confidence in healthcare systems. And for leaders, history remembers scientific breakthroughs. Patients remember whether those breakthroughs reached them. Every breakthrough medicine begins with scientific discovery. Its true impact, however, depends on whether it can be manufactured consistently, supplied reliably, and made available when patients need it most. The future competitive advantage of healthcare organizations may depend as much on manufacturing intelligence as scientific innovation because manufacturing is increasingly becoming a strategic capability that directly influences patient access, organizational resilience, and long term public trust. Building an AI ready healthcare workforce. The 2025 Microsoft Work Trend Index suggests that organizations are entering a new era of work, one in which AI increasingly supports routine tasks, allowing people to focus on more complex and strategic responsibilities. Healthcare is no exception. Across the industry, AI is beginning to automate documentation, analyze large volumes of scientific information, summarize evidence, and support operational decision making. As these capabilities continue to evolve, the role of healthcare professionals is evolving in parallel. This represents more than a technological shift, it represents a new model of human AI collaboration. This also means a shift in the nature of work, not simply the introduction of another technology. Future healthcare organizations will compete not only on their AI capabilities, but on how effectively their people learn to work with AI. And for our leaders, every major technological revolution has changed what people do. Artificial intelligence is changing what people should focus on. As routine work becomes increasingly automated, the defining capability of future healthcare professionals will be their ability to ask better questions, exercise sound judgment, integrate diverse perspectives, and make decisions that improve patient outcomes. Artificial intelligence may change the tools people use. The defining advantage of future healthcare organizations will be how effectively they develop professionals who know when to trust AI, when to question it, and when to rely on human judgment. Without doubt, the organizations that invest simultaneously in technology and people will be the best positioned to realize AI's full potential. If we were to look at trust, access, and equity, around the world, healthcare systems continue to face differences in affordability, infrastructure, workforce capacity, digital maturity, and access to care. AI can help address some of these challenges, but technology alone cannot eliminate them. Progress will continue to depend on thoughtful policy, responsible implementation, public private collaboration, and sustained investment in healthcare systems. Looking ahead, one possibility could be the AI equity impact assessment. Just as many organizations conduct an environmental impact assessment before major projects. Imagine if healthcare organizations around the world conducted an AI equity impact assessment. Before deploying an AI solution, leaders would ask which patient populations benefit, which populations might be unintentionally excluded. Does the solution widen or reduce health disparities? Can rural, low resource, or digitally underserved communities access it? Four questions. Now, as healthcare leaders, perhaps the question we should keep asking ourselves is not how intelligent our technologies become, but how many more patients ultimately benefit because of them. Excuse me. Throughout this discussion, we have explored how artificial intelligence is transforming individual functions across healthcare, from drug discovery and manufacturing to commercial operations, workforce transformation, and finally, patient access. But perhaps the most important insight is not what AI is changing. It is what healthcare leaders must now begin to ask. For the past few years, much of the conversation has centered on one question: how can artificial intelligence transform healthcare? It is an important question, but I believe it is no longer the most important one. The more meaningful question is this: what kind of healthcare system do we want artificial intelligence to help us build? Because every strategic decision made today, every investment, every algorithm, every partnership, every regulatory pathway, every clinical workflow is quietly shaping the future of healthcare. And that future, I believe, will ultimately be defined by five questions. Question 1: does this strengthen science? Artificial intelligence should accelerate discovery, deepen scientific understanding, and improve the quality of evidence. It should strengthen science, never replace scientific rigor. Question 2: can patients, professionals, and society trust it? Transparency, validation, governance, human oversight, and accountability should not be added after deployment. They should be designed into every healthcare innovation from the very beginning. Question 3: does it improve the way healthcare actually works? True transformation is not measured by impressive demonstrations. It is measured by better clinical trials, more resilient manufacturing, stronger regulatory processes, more informed medical affairs, smarter commercial engagement, and healthcare systems that work more effectively every single day. Question 4. Does it elevate human capability? The future of healthcare will not be defined by artificial intelligence alone. It will be defined by scientists, clinicians, regulators, engineers, and healthcare professionals who know how to combine human judgment with intelligent technology. Question 5, and that perhaps the most important question of all. Will more patients ultimately benefit because this exists? Because every innovation, regardless of how sophisticated it may be, eventually arrives at one point of truth: the patient. Artificial intelligence will undoubtedly influence the future of healthcare. But healthcare has never advanced because of technology alone. Every meaningful breakthrough has depended on scientific curiosity, ethical responsibility, operational excellence, collaborative leadership, and an unwavering commitment to improving human lives. Artificial intelligence expands what is possible. Leadership determines what becomes meaningful. Perhaps years from now, this generation will not be remembered simply for building more intelligent technologies. It will be remembered for something far more important: whether we had the wisdom to use those technologies to build healthcare systems that are more scientific, more equitable, more resilient, and ultimately more human. If we succeed, artificial intelligence will not be the story. Better healthcare will be. Thank you for watching. If you found this discussion valuable, I invite you to join me again on the Pharma Signal, where we explore the trends, technologies, and leadership ideas shaping the future of healthcare. Take care and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.